If you've been making a commitment to make a change in your life, but you have a hard time taking that leap, moving forward, there's something holding you back. Well, you're like a normal person. There's a concept in psychology called a stability bias. And that means that your ego has decided that the status quo is good enough. And it always tries to rationalize why you shouldn't take a risk. And there are 5 reasons why we do stay in this stability bias, and the way it operates is one is that the status quo is very, very comfortable. You don't have any need to change. How many times have you kind of talked yourself out of changing because, the job isn't that bad, or the relationship isn't that bad, or my financial situation isn't that bad, or my family situation isn't that bad. And we sort of talk ourselves out of it. So the status quo is comfortable. The second is that you look to the past to make a decision. You're kind of getting evidence of, well, I tried this before, I took a risk before and it didn't work. And you're using the past to make a decision about the future, which has no bearing on the future because the future could be wide open in possibility. So that stability bias, that concept keeps you looking in the past. The third thing is there's a fear of loss, that you feel if you do make a change, you're going to be worse off than you are right now. So it's like, you know what? Let's just keep it together. It's fine. It's good enough. And we never really stretch to do something, maybe something incredible or extraordinary. So that fear of loss, that if I make a change, something terrible is going to happen. The third one is that there's a fear of loss of money. Kind of this idea that whatever, if I take a risk and it doesn't work out, that these risks, these costs are going to be irreversible. And so the mind is like, oh, hang on to what you want, the money you have right now, that's enough, instead of taking a leap to even have a more successful business or more successful career. You hang on because you feel that if you make a choice and it doesn't work out, that those costs are irreversible, which is not true. When we do make a mistake in an investment or in something that we try that doesn't work out, we get information. So it's never a loss. And the cost always comes back. We can always make up that cost with a new decision. The last one is the most powerful, and that is staying with the crowd. Oh, yes, we want to hang out with the crowd. We don't want to leave our tribe, the people that we surround ourselves with, the people that we know in our life. And actually, our crowd also doesn't want us to change. We have this kind of agreement that none of us are changing. We're all going to stay the same. This happens in families. This happens with friends. And when someone tries to leave the tribe, there's sort of a pressure talking you out of it, or you're talking yourself out of it because you feel like you're going out alone. So the tribe is also part of that stability bias. So if any of these things are showing up for you, it's a sign that you're actually you have something great to do in your life. There's something, a desire in you that wants to do something more, but you're facing that stability bias, which is absolutely normal. And it means that your ego is fighting this new you that you're becoming, this new you that you're creating, and this extraordinary possibility for your future. So when you are facing this, a really great tip is just to ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? What is the root of it? And at the very root of all the stability biases that are happening is a loss of control. That we're not really afraid of losing money or losing friendships or losing the things we have, but it's this loss of control. When we step into something new, we just don't know how to orient ourselves around it. So it's sort of like this kind of throwing everything up in the air and hoping everything lands. And a lot of times that's like the fear that we have, that we're going to lose control. We're not going to be able to handle this new creation that we're putting forth. But I want you to know you can handle anything, and that you always have control over your mind. And no matter what happens in your life, ups and downs of taking on a journey of transformation, changing your life, will have ups and downs. It's not going to be smooth sailing, but you do have the tool of your mind to navigate and to stay balanced with all those ups and downs, and you can handle it. So if you're one of those people that are on the edge of making a decision, of making a big change, think about these ideas and how they're like influencing your decisions right now, and ask yourself what you're really afraid of. And trust me, the things that you're afraid of will most likely never come to pass. And if you take that risk, you will experience an extraordinary life that's waiting for you on the other side of that fear.